friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams again today. We are going to kind of have a bit of a chatty video to talk about my third major goal that I worked on in 2019. And today we're going to talk about series. I had a video at the beginning of 2019 or maybe towards the end of 2018 where I talked about all the series that I was kind of in the middle of. This is the room where I sit and read most of the time, so I wanted them up on this shelf so they were kind of always in my face, and I really did make a lot of progress. In that video, I talked about 22 different series that I was in the middle of. I finished 8 of those 22 series, so I feel like that's super impressive. I made progress in a handful more. I started quite a few more, so we're just going to kind of take a look at all the series that I own something from them, that I'm in the middle of, and I am going to keep them up on this shelf because I liked having them in front of my face. So I'm going to start with the series that I didn't even touch in 2019. I didn't pick up these books. These are the next books that I own in these series, and they were on the shelf and I just never got to them. So they're going to stay on that shelf and hopefully I'll get to them in 2020. So we have Dragonfly and Amber, which by Diana Gabaldon. This is the second book in the Outlander series, which I believe has 7 or 8 books in that series. So long ways to go. Another chunker of a book that I haven't picked up is World Without End. This is the sequel to Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I loved Pillars of the Earth, but it's a humongo commitment. This is one of the biggest books that I own. Yikes. I think I need to make big books a goal in 2020 because I have so many of them. Another big one that I really am determined to finish is Hero of Ages. This is the third book in the Mistborn trilogy. It's a shame that I haven't finished this yet. It's gonna happen. Not a series finisher, but also a second book in a series is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. It has now been almost 2 years or more than 2 years since I read the first one. I may need to go back and start over, but I don't want to do that. I have 2 middle grade series that I didn't touch this year. Enna Burning, which is the sequel to, or in the same series as The Goose Girl, and City of Stars, which by Mary Hoffman, which is in the Stravaganza series. This follows City of Masks, which I read in 2017. Yikes. Yeah, so I really would like to continue both of these series, just haven't done it yet. Jojo Moyes After You, which follows Me Before You, and a Christian fiction, A Sparrow in Terrazin by Christy Cameron. I reread the first one of this, which is Butterfly and the Violin, and loved it. Still haven't picked up the second one yet. Need to get to that. The next 2 that I didn't touch in 2019 are series finishers. We have Unbreakable by Sarah Ella. This is a fantasy YA. And The Firebird by Susanna Kearsley, which is kind of a loose sequel to The Winter Sea, which I read in 2018. Both of those I'm very interested in reading, and this one is kind of only a duology, I think. So I would love to get to both of these and completely knock off 2 more series from my list. That would be awesome. Not bad for the ones that I didn't touch at all. Then I have 3 more that I'm going to talk about that I made progress in, but it didn't complete the series. I did read the next Louise Penny, which was A Fatal Grace. This is book 3 in a massive series, which I now almost own all of. So I would like to continue on in 2020 and read at least 1, if not 2, 3, 4, 5 more in the series. I really love it. So next is Cruelest Month, but I did read A Fatal Grace this year. I read book 2 in the Grisha trilogy, which is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. I don't own Ruin and Rising. I would need to get it from the library. But I would like to knock this one off and be finished with this series. And a series that I'm probably not going to continue is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I read the second one. Now I can't think of what it's called. What is it called? Record of a Spaceborne Few is the third one. But I didn't care for the second one. So I think I'm going to be done with the series, and I should probably... Oh no, this is the second one, A Closed and Common Orbit. The first one is Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, Krista. This is the second one. I did read this one. I didn't care for it. I'm not going to keep this one. I am going to keep Long Way because I did like that one, but I'm not going to keep this one. And I think The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet finishes just fine. This is more of a companion to it. So this is going in the unhaul pile, and I will not be picking up Record of a Spaceborne Few, which is the third book in that series. This next pile consists, or represents, I should say, series that I completed in 2019, so I'm really excited about this pile. I don't own all of the finishers, so I own Beartown, but I don't own Us Against You. I did read Us Against You by Frederick Backman in 2019, and I absolutely love both of those books. So good. I completed the whole trilogy, or the second two books in the Heart of Darkness, or what's it called? The Kiss of Deception, the Remnant Chronicles. The first one is Kiss of Deception, then we have Heart of Betrayal, and then we have The Beauty of Darkness. I am going to be unhauling this trilogy. It was great. Not great. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, and I don't need to keep it on my shelves, but I'm glad that I finished another series. There's that. I did read Britt Marie Was Here, which is sort of a companion / sequel to one of the characters in My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. I liked both of them. I actually think I liked this one even more than the first one, but I'm glad to have read another Bachman. I'm always glad to read another Bachman. I did complete the Farseer trilogy when I read Assassin's Quest this year by Robin Hobb. This is the third book in the series, and I'm really hoping to continue on with the next, I think is the Live Ship Traders trilogy. I think is the second trilogy in this world, and so I'm really excited to get to that, but I want to knock off some more of these first before starting another massive fantasy trilogy. I did read The War I Finally Won in 2019. I don't own that one either, but this is the first one, The War That Saved My Life. So I completed this little duology. It's middle grade historical fiction, and it's fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. I didn't read Scythe in 2019, but I did read Thunderhead and The Toll in 2019. So I completed this trilogy and really enjoyed it. Scythe is Scythe is definitely my favorite in the trilogy, but I did really enjoy reading that whole trilogy. And another YA trilogy that I completed is the Caraval series. I read Finale just this month, the beginning of December, and that knocked off this series from my shelf. Yay for that. And my last little pile, I'm kind of flying through. Sorry I'm not talking very much about what these are about. There's just too many. This last little pile consists of series that I started in 2019. Oh, before I get to this one, series that I read a lot of or all of and don't own any of them or didn't bring them out here. I started the Betsy Tacy series, and I read all of the Betsy Tacy books. I didn't read the companion ones that happen at the end of the series, like Carney's House Party and Winona's something. I didn't read those two, I think. I think there might be 3. But I did read all of the Betsy Tacy series. So started and completed that whole series, as well as the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy. Again, I enjoyed the first book, but it got progressively worse for me as the series went on. I definitely would recommend reading the first one just for a fun, quick read that makes you frustrated with rich people. And I also read the duology, the Wild Robot duology, which is the middle grade duology, and I can't think of the author, but I should be putting pictures up here, so the author will be on there. But yeah, those are series that I started and completed. So 3 series that I started and completed in 2019 to add to the list. So I don't know where I'm at. I don't have a number. I should have probably done that, but I'm excited that I did that. And then here we go. Now this last pile are books that I started, series that I started in 2019. So I did start the Maisie Dobbs series. This is a historical mystery by Jacqueline Winspear, and I did recently pick up book 2, Birds of a Feather. So Birds of a Feather is getting added to my shelf. I don't own book 2 in this series, but I did start Pages & Co., Tilly and the Book Wanderers. And this is by Anna James. This is a middle grade, and I think book 2 recently came out in England. I did order this one from Book Depository. I may do the same with the second one, so I have it in kind of matching editions. But I really thought this was a super cute middle grade, and I'm going to not put it on my shelf because I don't own it, but that's a series that I started. I read Firefly Lane in the summer of 2019, and I do own the sequel, Fly Away Home. This is just a duology by Kristen Hanna, whom I love. I am excited to always have a Kristen Hanna on the horizon for reading because she's one of my favorites. I did start the Land of Stories series. This one is The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. I just hope to make some progress in this series this year. I just last month read the first of the Vanderbeekers books. This is the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street by Karina Yen Glaser. This is a super sweet middle grade. This one took place over the Christmas season, so it was a perfect little holiday read. I loved it, and there are at least 2 others that I currently have out from the library, so hopefully they'll get read before the end of the year, but possibly they'll have to be read in 2020. We'll see. I did start the Thursday Next series when I read the Air Affair by Jasper Fforde. This is book 2, Lost in a Good Book. I wasn't sure I was going to want to continue that series when I started it, but the audiobook convinced me that it's going to be fun. And it helped me to get into it a lot more than reading the print version was helping me. So I'm excited for that one. I did read The Dry by Jane Harper, and so the next book is Force of Nature. And I also own The Lost Man. I'm really excited for it. I've heard such good things. I loved The Dry. They all take place in Australia, so that's kind of fun. And I'm definitely planning to make progress on this one. You guys, a couple of you have already recommended this to me for my recommendations cart for 2020. So I'm excited to continue with that. Another middle grade series that I just love because I love this author, Kate DiCamillo. I started Raimi Nightingale. I also read Louisiana Comes Home, which is a companion novel to this one, and I currently have out Beverly Was Here. This is about a friendship between these 3 girls, and each of them has their own book where we kind of learn their story a little bit deeper, and they're lovely. I loved the first 2, and I'm looking forward to finishing up Beverly Was Here in 2020, if not before the end of the year, because I currently have it out from the library. The final series that'll be on my shelf for the year, I did start the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy, and I do own The Girl in the Tower. So Girl in the Tower is gonna get read hopefully January or February, because I just feel like this is a winter series. I did read The Bear and the Nightingale last January, so I feel like that might just be a thing. And I think there's one more in this trilogy that I don't yet own, but I'm excited, guys. I have so many books to read. Let's go ahead and count how many series I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ooh. So I own 17 of the series that I'm in the middle of. And I also talked about, well, Beverly Was Here, The Vanderbeekers, Tilly and the Book Wanderers, 18, 19, 20. Land of Stories, 21. Ruin and Rising, 22. And I think that's it. So I have 22 series that I would like to make progress in 2020. I should have got that down to 20. What can I take away? I don't want to take away anything. Let's just hope. Okay, so here's the goal. I would like to make progress with 20 of these books out of the 22. Whether, like, so here's Louis. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh no! I just dropped a whole bunch of things. I would like to make progress by reading 20 books from series. So I could count, if I read like 3 Outlander books, that would count for 3, not just 1, because it's 1 series. The same for the Louise Penny books. I'm hoping to read more than just this one in this series. So if I could read 5 of them, that would knock off 5 series continuers. So I would like to try to do 20. That's an aggressive goal, but I think it's very doable, and it would be awesome if I could finish as many as I finished this year. I feel like a lot of series this year, like 6 or 7. It would be awesome to continue with that progress. So there you have it. That is the series that I'm in the middle of and how the progress that I made in 2019. Are you guys like series completioners? Like, do you binge a series from start to finish? Or are you like me where you have loads of series that you're kind of in the middle of and haven't finished yet? Yikes, it's a problem. But it's a good problem, right? Because it just always means that there's more good books waiting for me. I'm really excited about most of these. There's a few that I'm like, I don't care if I really get to it or not. But for the most part, I'm really excited to continue with these series. There's just not enough time. Isn't that the case for every book lover? Just simply too many books and not enough time. But that is it for my goals, really, for 2020. I have talked about my TBR, my recommendations cart, which if you haven't yet made a recommendation, please hop back over to that video where I ask for your help and I kind of wrap up my 2019 cart, but also say, hey, what do you want me to read from my to-read list or from my own TBR list on Goodreads? I would love to get your recommendations if you haven't yet left me one. So my recommendations cart, I have 5 classics that I hope to read in 2020. I have 5 new to me authors that I own at least 3 of their books, and then the series that I'd like to make progress on. I'm really excited about these goals. I'll be talking about a Goodreads goal when I wrap up kind of my 2019 reading as a whole, closer to the end of the month. That's just not going to be a Vlogmas video, clearly, because we're nearly done with Vlogmas now. But yeah, I'm excited about these. Let's chat down in the comments below about series, about how do you with your series, about any of these books or any of the series that I talked about today, or about anything else that you guys want to talk about. You know I love talking with you down in the comments, and I will be talking to you in another video tomorrow. Bye.